right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And this is Shot 30 Podcast, and I am Shane Newbert. And today we have a very special guest in the studio. It's been a while trying to get you in here, and she's finally here, Miss Celtic Honey. But she doesn't just go by Celtic Honey. She's got a lot of other, what is it called, personas?
Yep.
How many personas do you have?
So, including Celtic Honey, it's 5 altogether. And then people think I have like a ton of other ones, but really they're just mainly like cosplay or actual characters or whatever.
Yeah, okay, your TikTok ones, are those the two that go back and forth?
Yeah, so I have Pastel and Iridium Kitsune, who are half sisters.
We're putting pictures up here.
So yeah, they're half sisters. I started out doing Pastel originally, and she's kind of just grown into this. She's always been this LGBT. I do like dances with her and carefree and all that kind of good stuff. And Iridium's the more like serious sister that picks on her and whatever.
And you keep them all under one TikTok, correct?
Yes. Yep, it's all under Celtic Honey.
And then the Celtic Honey world, we'll talk about that in just a little bit. Yeah. But Shot 30 Podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, CastBox, YouTube, all those things. Please like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. They might like it, they may not. But hey, right now, if you're watching the video, go down, press like, and then leave a comment because it just helps the video. Or if you're on Apple Podcasts, leave a review. Now, back to you. Okay, so you have like all these personas that you do. What was your number one? Like, what did you start with?
Eden.
Okay. Wow. Eden was the first one?
Well, actually, in the very, very beginning, I had no idea what the fuck I was doing. I started TikTok because the pandemic happened and I panicked about having free time.
Well, but you were doing burlesque and all of this before your TikTok, correct?
No, actually.
What?
So that's a big misconception. A lot of people think that I've been performing for a long time.
You give off the radiance of it, though.
Thank you. And what it is actually is that I do have years of experience in other areas that are performing, whether it's through acting or when it comes to the makeup side and everything. I've been a face painter, body painter for over a decade. I've always done film acting and short film acting and things like that throughout the years. And so I've just done a lot of different personality type things. Mm-hmm. And so getting into burlesque, it just kind of filtered into that. And so it was kind of an ease into transition. And with the TikTok, I mean, I've always had kind of a sideways smile anyway and things. And so, and just been kind of expressive with my face. And so doing TikTok stuff just kind of evolved into that as well. So
yeah, TikTok is a weird world. Like, and there's so many unique like qualities and personalities that like stand out on TikTok. You know, mm-hmm. Like it doesn't need to just be, hey, this is the funny guy, or hey, this is the prank guy. Mm-hmm. There is such, it's like goes down to this very small. You can be an original in a massive way and then not even know it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like there's a huge. It's kind of like the Judy made me watch Velocipaster.
Oh yeah.
And little did I know that there's this world full of horrendous movies, but I love, and I see why there is this like a cult following with these type of movies. These movies are so awful. Velocipaster, they could have wore one of those like T-Rex blow up outfits, and it would have been better than the outfit that they came up with. Or like Killer Piñata. Mm-hmm. And now, yeah, I'll give a little snippet. So we're gonna have those the producers of Killer Piñata and the two of the actors from that show on the podcast. Oh. And they said I could be an extra in their third movie. They're releasing The Bride. Of the Bride of Killer Piñata. Oh, nice. And they told me they're from Chicago. They said I could be an extra in it.
Oh my gosh, that's so awesome.
Yeah, I'm stoked. But that's such a specific genre. But then as you're watching those movies, you're laughing and it's so silly and it's just so obscene. Like when I was watching with, like, me and Judy were messaging, she said, watch us. And I was like, you stay your fucking ass up. Timry's asleep. You're going to stay up. And I'm messaging you throughout this whole thing. And there was a scene where they're fighting the ninjas. And I was like, this cannot be real Chinese. And I literally, can you translate? Google, can you translate? And it wasn't Chinese. They were just, they were just making noises. And I was in tears. So yeah, specific genres. I mean, it can be in any shape or form.
Well, and that's the nice thing about TikTok is there's so many different areas that you can do now, and it's especially with the pandemic, there's more and more adults that got into the platform, and so while there's still a lot of younger people on there, there's so many different subgenres that have exploded. There's King Talk, there's like what I do, which is the different personas. There's
food
hacks,
talk.
Yeah. There's all sorts of things. And so, I mean, there's plenty of room for everyone to find like your own niche or whatever. And so it's been really interesting and fun. I'm kind of on a little bit of a break right now, but I'll be getting back into it as I set up these photo shoots with my different personas and things. So.
And do you use multiple photographers?
Yes, I do.
And that's awesome too, because there's a lot of talented people, especially in our area.
There's so much talent here in the Quad Cities and even outside the area as well. When I travel for performing, I try to work with other photographers as well. And there's another photographer who lives about 90 minutes from here that I usually travel and shoot with her at least a few times a year.
Yeah, and this is kind of the way I look at it with all the categories, because we've kind of dipped our toes into a lot of different waters in the Quad Cities. With the amount of talent, like, people should be like coming out to these shows, like telling your friends. It's I don't know. It kind of just sucks when comedians are going up in front of a crowd of two people. When, like, there's some of these comedians, I'm looking at them like, these guys are monsters. Or going to a burlesque show. Why aren't all of these sold out? Well, I don't. It just feels like we got to get up off our ass a little bit,
Yeah, it's a constant struggle of trying to get the word out for all the various things. But yeah, that's just it with burlesque or any of the variety of talents in our community.
And COVID kind of did that. Are you cold?
I am a little chilly.
You want me to turn the heat on? I absolutely can turn the heat on in here. It just sometimes gets real warm in here because it's just a closed-in room.
Oh, that's all good.
But what the hell was I going to say? I don't know. Something stupid probably. But yeah, like, COVID did a lot of... it sounds weird to say it like this, but a lot of damage in the fact that it really made a lot of people just love their home even more than they already did.
Yeah, that's very, very true. And with the performing community, we did find a way through somewhat by getting to do virtual shows and things. And that's actually when I did my first burlesque, was during the pandemic and virtual shows.
You gotta be
on
kidding
2020.
me. That's crazy.
Yeah. So, so it's, I wanted to get into it anyway, and they had talked to, I think it was Vo Devil Cabaret. Rain Razor told me about them, and I was looking for Muddy Water Mayhem. I wanted to do a virtual show possibly, because we had a really killer Muddy Water Mayhem Presents show in February, right before COVID shut everything down. And so we were trying to get something going. And
do you want to tell people what Muddy Water Mayhem is?
Sure, yeah. So Muddy
we got
Water...
some kinkos out here too.
Hello, everyone. Come to our home.
Look at you. See, you went right into you went right into it. You're like, hello.
So Muddy Water Mayhem is a place where we provide an experience for people who have always been interested in the lifestyle, whether it's kink, BDSM, fetishes, any of that sort of thing. We provide a safe place that people can come, and if they've always been interested, or if they are heavy in the lifestyle, anything, we provide an environment, a night for them to come and be their most comfortable presenting selves. So it's basically, we set up a nightclub 4 times a year. that allows people just to do their thing. And we have go-go dancers, we have techno music, we have performers, and we have a bunch of different vendors. And then we also have kink educators as well. And you can just ask any question that you want.
Yeah, I mean, I was there. There's a lot of, I mean, dog colors, and I mean, there's a lot of spiky stuff and a lot of whips and chains. It's pretty much, you're kind of like the Lady Gaga of the Quad City. You know what? You really are the Lady Gaga of the Quad Cities.
I've never been called that before, but okay.
How the hell have you never been called that? Because actually, when you think about it, you really, when we break it down, dog, you're right there. You're right there.
Well, thank you.
Chains and whips, excitement. Yeah. All right, that's enough of that. But oh, hey, speaking of that, you were busting out some Titanic the other day.
Oh, yeah. So I have a side channel that I had started called Celtic Honey Sings.
Ooh.
Because I do actually I really enjoy singing. And the problem that I have is that I have a lot of different things that interest me.
I'm the same way.
And so people definitely know when they talk about me or whatever, they're like, she just does everything. And that's because I hate free time. I hate free time, and also free time scares me. But on top of that, I like to do anything and everything with art. Mm-hmm. And so one of those things is singing. And so it's a bucket list thing to be in a band someday. However, I know how much time and effort it takes. So that's why I haven't done it. But I was able to record a song for the last Muddy Water show.
So I was going to ask you, because I would like to use that as the intro to this episode, but I need to know that you own, it's 100% yours and the music. So because they'll take me down. They'll take my count down if it isn't.
So I know that he did have an issue when he posted it on TikTok, even though he was the one that produced it.
Yeah, there's weird loops.
So he has his own, it's called Entropy Complex, and he's released albums and all sorts of music and everything, and I think it's got Entropy Complex featuring Eden Savage or something along those lines. And so I don't think it should get taken down, but I'm not 100% sure because I don't know how that works. I know that we've gotten around certain things like that by stating that we don't own the rights, blah, 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 whatever. But it is a cover of a popular song.
Okay. Yeah, because I would like to use it on this, but and then I can just like battle around all. So did you ever do musicals and stuff like that then? Because you have a great singing voice, and then with your performing and then theater or loving to do plays and stuff, did you ever do musicals?
I never was actually in any musicals. Once again, it's another bucket list thing that I would like to do eventually. Mm-hmm. But for now, I settle for karaoke and getting to occasionally play within my friend's studio. You
should come out to our house when we have parties. We have literally the whole living room section is all karaoke.
Nice.
And we have one of my friends, his name's Kerry Cortez. He tried out for The Voice. He's incredible. He was in a band called Motor Biscuit. They were really getting there. They opened for a hailstorm, I believe.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
And he is incredible, but he'll come out and just belt out tunes. Timmery's sister, Kelly, is incredible. We have a friend, Rachel. She's really, really good. Mm-hmm. It's a lot of fun. And then, then there's a lot of us that just suck, and we're just loving our best life, As long
as you're enjoying yourself, that's all that matters. Yeah, I love belting out some Adele and any of that stuff.
My go-to is I Can Go the Distance, Hercules.
Yeah. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, that's.
I can go to the distance.
I'll be there someday. Yeah, and I sing it just like that, like pre-puberty, yeah.
That's awesome. I love it. Yeah, I love singing Disney musicals and all that stuff. I've gotten them to do, not me personally. We had talked about it or whatever, and at Carriage House on Thursdays they have karaoke. And I love going there because there's hardly anyone there.
Oh, yeah.
And so me and a couple other people will be like, all right, so here's the theme for tonight. And we've done Disney musicals or go through the decades, or karaoke roulette is the best.
What? Oh, so
pick a decade and then just
that's fun.
pick a song.
Yeah, that's fun. I think it would be fun to do it in a roulette style where you just have to sing the song no matter what it is. Mm-hmm. Is that it?
Yeah, you can definitely do it that way too.
Oh,
and I'll usually have that KJ she's got a whole list of songs I've sang in the past or whatever, and I'll be like, just pick one. She usually picks that last. By Etta James. She loves that one. But
I would be. I'm sure my luck would be I'd get Whitney Houston every single time. I'm not doing that. I'm staying away. No. But yeah, so also we're going to kind of dive into a little bit. But first, do you want to pour up another shot? Are you okay too?
All right. Absolutely.
Yeah, let's do it. And as you're pouring that up, I do want to say, we were supposed to have a guest on the podcast tonight, Mr. Jeremy Hall, and Jeremy is incredible. It's going to be such a great episode, but he had a passing in his family, and our hearts go out to them because I know from talking to him every single time I've ever talked to him, such a sweetheart of a human being, and is such a goofy, silly person, but every conversation I've ever had, he always mentions his grandmother and how much they were best friends. And so my heart goes out to you and to your family, and we're going to take a shot to you, all of you.
Absolutely. Love you, Auntie. Cheers.
Yeah, we're so excited for that episode as well. So we just reschedule it. We're just going to push it back to next week.
Yeah, absolutely.
No one's in a rush. We got plenty of time. Yeah. But now we're going to go into, I think cosplay is so fascinating. I'm a huge comic book fan. I've always wanted to go. I've always thought, especially when I was, back when I had a much more fit body, I was always dressing up as these characters and stuff like that. Just never really had friends that wanted to go with me. I was as dull as it gets as a powerlifter. I was competing as a powerlifter, had no personality, in a terrible relationship. You wouldn't even recognize the human being I am today.
Funny how that works.
You know, like I went to when I would go over to my ex's house, I wouldn't even speak. I would sit there for hours just silent. And half of it was because I know that she didn't want me to talk, you know, like and I would hide away when I got home. I would hide away in my little game room and play video games because that was my only release. And I understand that video games are a huge release for people because they get to disappear into being something else on a video game, you know? Mm-hmm. But you do this now with costumes and being these characters, and it's so awesome.
Yeah, well, I play some video games too, whenever I can. It's just I don't get to play very often.
You're a busy person.
Yeah, but I do love video games.
What's your favorite video game?
I am a Need for Speed nerd, as well as I do like playing Overwatch every now and then. I used to play Call of Duty a lot.
Is Overwatch the one where you can adjust the people's penis size? Is that the right one?
No, I don't think so.
Gosh, there's a new game. Like, there's a game that's been
out. It's been out for a while, but
yeah, it's been out for a little while. But like, I don't know what the game is called. I cannot remember, but it's a very popular game.
Like Mass Effect, like you can adjust every person.
I mean, I'll just use the Goog real quick.
Yep, do the Googs.
Cyberpunk.
Oh shit, really?
Yeah. Yes, and like there's some glitches where you're just running around naked and there's just a giant swing and dang just as they're running.
I did want to play that game because I love Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk is like one of my favorite genres.
Yeah, let me know how it goes.
I don't have any. Well, I mean, I would have had time this month because of fucking COVIDs. Because last weekend and this weekend had shows canceled, but
yeah, hitting hard again.
Yeah, it is. Hopefully we can get back out there.
Yeah, hopefully. Okay, so you said Call of Duty a little bit.
I used to play Call of Duty. I need to upgrade my system and some things before I even attempt to play. Otherwise, it's just pointless at this time anymore.
What system you on?
I have PS4.
Oh,
but unless you have like all the mods and updates and everything, like all the extras. You just die in seconds.
Yeah, these people like
fucking kids and YouTube and blah.
Man, it really is a crazy world. Like these kids, that's when because I used to be good at Madden, like pretty damn good. I used to show up at the Madden tournament at the like local Walmart to win the free game when it released, and I would win. I won like 3 years in a row, and then there was one. Then like the third or fourth year I went there, and there was like a 7-year-old kid. And I'm like, oh man, come on! Like you really put me against this. This kid whooped me 40-0 with 4-minute quarters, and I'm like, this is and 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 then I got on Call of Duty, and I'm watching and listening to these, hey, you stupid asshole. I'm like, dude, you don't even have a debit card yet.
Where the fuck are your parents?
You don't even know what
Let
a
me talk to
checkbook
them.
is. But it's crazy. And then,
Yeah.
and their mouths on there. Whoa.
Yeah, there is no filter. I don't usually play with the sound on.
Me too.
I just do my own thing because I just literally am just letting off steam. I don't care about points or any of that stuff, which is why I like Overwatch, because I can just hop on and play. I don't have to upgrade anything or whatever. It's just you go and play and do whatever, hop in a match, and
I think
It's
that's
fine.
why the old games were so much fun. Like when you think about, like, a lot of people think about their favorite games, they think about like N64, Mario Kart, or Super Mario, where you can just get lost in your own world. You're not concerned with, looking cool in front of your friends, getting more kills than him, or how many times you died.
right.
You were just in your own little world.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a much simpler time for sure with the games like that and before online playing. Around.
I used to get consumed by this game where all it was the space bar. It was called Helicopter.
Oh yeah.
And so when you press the space bar, the helicopter goes up or it drops down, and then you like try to avoid like little roadblocks out there. And I would play that for literal hours, like. And we were broke; we didn't have any money as when I was a kid. So, now I'm like sitting with a PlayStation 5, like in a different world. Like, look at this,
Right? Yeah, for sure. I played House of Dead the other day at Analog, and I'm like, man, this is. I'm dating myself now. This is memories, because this is like when I played. It was my first computer game many years ago.
Yeah, I remember I used to play. They used to have these games where it was like you go in and do like the mysteries. Like there's Frankenstein, and you like go in on the computer and you can go find items and like try to solve the mystery. They had it for the Mummy.
Oh, okay.
And the only reason I was saying that is because I played that Mummy one till my fingers were raw, and then I see all this stuff about Brendan Fraser in today's world. Like, dude, everybody's shitting on this guy just because he's porked up. Like,
But he's coming back now. Like everybody came to his defense. Like we must protect the Brendan Fraser
Dude,
at all
it-
costs.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, he was gorgeous back in the day. But dude, life can beat you the fuck down. Like,
He's had a rough go of it too. Like man, he got drugged through it.
he got blackballed, kicked out of Hollywood. I mean, it was so bad, and let the guy be a person. And a lot of things like like the Macaulay Culkin stuff. Macaulay Culkin, I think, is brilliant. I still and even now today with his comeback, everybody's trying to destroy him because drugs and alcohol. Look what it does to you. Actually, Macaulay Culkin caught a very, very rare disease that is carried in cats. He moved to Paris with his girlfriend because he wanted to disappear from this whole world of everyone that knew him. He claims, whether or not it's true, I don't know, but he claims he wasn't a drug addict. He said that he just wanted to disappear and live life without being Macaulay Culkin.
I mean, I can see that too. Like I can only imagine the pressures of like celebrity, like actual Hollywood life or whatever. I mean, I can't even imagine.
Yeah, he wanted to just be in an apartment alone, not home alone.
Right?
But
I understand liking to have your own space and just not peopling too.
What is your space?
My space?
You got an account still?
I don't think so. Pretty sure I don't. My space, I call it my creative haven, because my space, I've been very fortunate. I do have a whole area that's a little larger of a room, and so I have different spots within there. So I have like my photography setup, which is where I also do my TikToks. And then I have my keyboard so I can play piano whenever I want and sing. And I've got my makeup station and my paint supplies and everything. And then I couch and get to play video games and whatever. And then I'm basically a human cat. So throughout my house, I have different spots that I can just chill and lay. So I have like a hammock in my side porch. And I have one of those crochet chair things that you hang from the ceiling.
Oh, yeah.
And one of the bedrooms. And like all over. So I pretty much, when I'm left to my own devices, it's just me meandering through my house and just stopping every now and then and play a game on my phone or go on to the next thing.
But you have fun with yourself too. I mean, and that's a thing a lot of people aren't able to do. Like I feel like you could be sitting in a room with no one in there and just start laughing. Like I feel like you could just amuse yourself in a way. And
I absolutely can.
I mean, I can read it right off your face.
I can do both.
But I think that's a good thing too, because people with an imagination, especially when you do cosplay or when you're performing on stage, you have to have this imagination to broaden yourself. Sometimes I'll lay in bed and just imagine, I mean, almost anything. Like, or when I pick up a football, like this, it sounds so stupid, but I still do it. I did it today. I pick up a football and drop back like I'm Tom Brady. Like, man, I could have been. You know, I've got no ability to throw whatsoever. But me just thinking that for a second, or when I take that shot, I pick up a basketball and I'm out on the basketball court all by myself. I'm always pretending I'm hitting that game-winning shot, and then if I miss it, but there's 0.1 second left. Like I go get the ball again. Oh, I got the ball with 0.1 second. Oh, he missed it, but he was fouled. He's going to the free throw line.
I feel like creative people are just people who never lost their wonder. They just kept it and they felt it throughout their entire life, and they just never let it get taken out of them by the real world.
Mm-hmm. And it's a really powerful thing, you know. Like when people say it's a kid at heart. Yeah, but I wouldn't say you're a kid at heart. No. I would say like you said, you just never lost that wonder, you know, that mystery of the world, or want to be, or I don't know,
it's
like
our muchness,
desire. Fantasy. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And sometimes, I mean, it goes away for a while. Like I'm definitely getting into like my full. I always tell everybody like this is definitely my time. I'm living my best life like right now. And it took me a while to get there. Like I definitely lost myself for a long, long time, and I was like the normal Susie homemaker, whateverness type thing, and life circumstances and whatever. And so,
was it somewhat based on a relationship?
Yeah. I mean, I was married and the whole deal, and circumstances, and then proceeded to get divorced.
Mm-hmm.
There's a whole life saga deal, as we all do. Say, break your shit.
Yeah, you're okay. Just throw it all. Let it go.
Let it go. Don't give a shit anymore.
Yeah, but I mean, don't break all my shit though.
But don't break the shit. But don't break the shit. But it's, yeah, when you get to a certain point and you have to either rebuild or you have to, certain life circumstances, things that happen to you, you have choices. Mm-hmm. You can either deep dive into depression or whatever, or you can say, fuck it all, and I'm going to recreate. I'm going to be a true self. I'm going to do all the things, and that's pretty much my life now, like how I view everything, because people always ask, like, why are you so confident? I'm like, it's lack of fucks. Essentially. Kind of. Because what it is that I don't let other opinions affect me anymore. Mm-hmm. And I only surround myself with people who are going to be not necessarily positive, because I'm there for a lot of different people. I have a lot of people that come to me and ask for advice or whatever, and help them through different things, kind of whether it's through kink education or translation or those sorts of things, or even just friends that come to me and say like, hey, what do I do in this situation or whatever. But what it comes down to is just figuring out, if you don't take a chance and try all the things, then you're not going to know if you like that thing or not. I tell everyone, I'll try anything. Okay, just about anything once because somebody's like, well, not heroin. I'm like, well, fuck no, of course I'm not going to do heroin.
Yeah.
Like, that's not, okay, almost. But, I mean, like, I want to jump out of a plane. I got to do, like, rappelling last year, and I got to do, like, a bunch of different things. And it's all about experiences. And, you know, before you shuffle off this mortal coil, like, try and experience as much as possible. And you can just look back and be like, hey, I did the thing. You don't necessarily, even if it's, whether it's later in life, I say don't worry about later in life necessarily. Like, take the moments now while you're able and willing and all of that good stuff. Take the vacation, take the time to find that adventure. I mean, just keep your wonder.
Yeah.
And if you keep your wonder, then you're going to feel full. You're going to have that creativity. You're going to be able to draw those different experiences. And that's, to me, that's really what it's about now. Is that a story? Like, that's a fucking cool thing. Mm-hmm. That's a story.
Yeah, it's kind of like a Natasha, I think, Bettenfield. Mm-hmm. On the song Unwritten. Mm-hmm. Dude, I love that song so fucking much. That song pumps me up. I'm telling you, I could be at the gym just put 1,000 pounds on my max. Like, I honestly love that song so much. It's because, just like you said, it is like you tomorrow's always a new day, and you're writing every single day. Your whole book of your life isn't defined by yesterday or even tomorrow. It's defined by a million different pages. And long as you don't let the page end, or don't let your story end at page 179 just because you decided, I want to be this cookie cutter, everyday, repetitive, miserable. It's why I so hard push, because I lived the life of being in a very sad, miserable relationship. And, you know, I'm not putting that all on just on the other person, but I'm saying towards myself, that's what I was. And I knew that one of the hardest things a human being can do is end a relationship like that, because you're so accustomed. I had just bought a house. I had just bought her a car, and it was just this. She wanted to live this perfect lifestyle, like, well, the idea of perfect. Like, look at our beautiful home. Let's spend all of our money on couches, everything brand new. And I got so caught up in just, here's my credit card, whatever makes you happy. And nothing was making me happy. Everything that I loved, there wasn't a mutual feeling or even a mutual respect of, like, go pursue your dreams, you know, because opposites can attract.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there's a thing that a mutual understanding of who, and knowing who each other are. And that's when I met and got with Timmery. Timmery was my best friend before me and her were anything. Like, she was and now I live every day, every moment, because I decided to make this change and this move and move forward. And now I'm with my best friend in the world. Even our fights, it's like that we wake up in the morning and I'm just like, fuck you, asshole. And like, I mean, but then we're playing and joking and messaging each other, and it's been years and years of nothing different. But a lot of people settle for not that. Like, they settle for the yelling and the beating and the abuse and the sadness and the sorrow and the miserable and the not being who they really are.
Yeah, and it can be scary. Absolutely. I mean, you have to get to a point where you make a choice whether you want to be stuck, and you don't want to be stuck in that situation. You'll get into this routine, or you think that there isn't any other choice, or there's no other way out because you have to. Or if that person, even though they're necessarily potentially toxic, you might think that you're trying to help them. There's any number of reasons of why you stick into that type of relationship or whatever. But you're right. Yeah, you need to have somebody who's going to be. And the other thing, too, is it's a matter of, and this is something I'm glad I've finally figured out, albeit later, is that not every relationship, not every dynamic, not everybody's idea of perfect is the same. There is the societal standard that you have to get married, have kids, settle down, have the white picket fence, but that's bullshit. It's not what you have to do. not everybody's perfect and ideal is that.
Just like it doesn't need to be a husband and a wife. It
No.
doesn't need to be, or even I mean, there's 9 million things. No one can decide what makes someone else happy.
Yeah. And some people, like, they're not, they know they're not marriage people. Like, they know that that's not their lifestyle. They know that they rather be fierce, free-spirited and get to just have an ebb and flow thing. There's people who want to be in a monogamous relationship. There's people that want to have the ability to wonder and whatever. I mean, as long as you have good communication, any sort of dynamic is possible. Any sort of dynamic can be healthy, but you can't settle for that one cookie cutter idea. And I've been very fortunate to not necessarily rearrange my life, but I've basically shifted everything into a world where I am truly happy. So I'm surrounded by like my Muddy Water family, House of Sin, and all the burlesquers in the community, all the photographers, all the creative energy in our community. All of those people they're not on the same plane necessarily as that cookie cutter. I do this. This is societal standard, in my opinion.
I just thought you were doing flippies.
So.
You're okay. Don't worry.
but it's all bullshit. It's whatever you're comfortable with and what you feel happiest. And if you're happy, then fuck everybody else, because it needs to be what you're comfortable with. And if you feel full at the end of the day, and the people you're surrounding yourself with leave you feeling that fullness, I mean, that's what it's all about, is having that people, that circle, that tribe, and just everybody around you.
I couldn't agree more. Pour up one more of these. We're coming towards the home stretch here.
Ah.
You got places to be, stuff to do.
Yeah.
But I did want to say, when I got married the very first time, I've only been married twice, but the first time I got married, you better cheers with me. You don't need to clink it. I mean, I don't know. Are you supposed to clink it for like spirits or something like that? I thought somebody told me that once. I think I've been told a different story for every person why they go down, but I just do it.
I mean, lots of different interpretations. Slunshine.
But when I got married, I had 10 individuals standing up on my side for that wedding. 10. And out of those 10, I have one person that's still in my life today. And that one person means so much to me. Like, so much more than anybody could ever fathom. That person means the entire world to me. And I love him for forever. But it is wild, like, to look at my life, 6 years ago, 7, whatever it was, and be like, wow. Wow. And to even look at the relationships that I had then, I'm forming real life relationships and in today's world, because I am actually me. I'm this real, I'm going to be as real as you can find out. A lot of people are like, oh, Shane's so positive, or Shane's so, or this or that. Like, it's got to be fake. I mean, I'm going to give you what's me, and then you can filter however you want. But I'm going to figure out how you're going to treat me right away too. I want you to figure that out. All these people that I talk to and meet, I want you to figure out, because if you don't like me, that's okay. It really is. But this is just the real person. I'm going to be goofy and silly, send you messages, call and bug up when you don't answer. Cinnamon, I warned Cinnamon, you're on if you don't answer 2 calls in a row, if I ever get to 3, we're going to have a problem. Because she's notorious for not answering phone calls. And so I've always warned, if I get to 3, now we're going to have a problem. But it's so, I don't know, I guess the term would be to wear your heart on your sleeve. I do it with everybody now, because this is just who I am, whether you like it or not. I'm going to go out and I'm going to talk about what I think or feel, or because I wasn't allowed to do that before. And this is the way I want to feel. I want to, I don't know.
Yeah. You're living your true self. You're living your best life, and this is your now.
And that's something that's like with Judy, I love Judy so much because she just goes,
That's my wifey too.
she goes, just get it out, babe. Like, what's going on? And, I had struggled for a long time because there is some, we'll just use the word drama between groups of stuff. And Judy's always been this neutral party. She's always just a love. She's just a fucking, like, she's like the sun of love that just radiates out. And she's not afraid to be that. And then, when I was getting some things from other people that just kind of was like really frustrating me. Like, I'm not picking sides to make one person feel bad. I want to make my own opinion of everybody in the whole world. Like, and now boom, I'm being drawn into this. And she goes, babe, just relax and just be you and put it out. And if anybody doesn't accept that, then fuck that. And Timmery tells me that all the time. And it's so hard, like, because now you got your closest person to you, the number one, and she's just going to say anything to try to make your heart full of love and make you feel. Yeah. But, I mean, it is just, it is so nice to be the real version of yourself. And that can change. It could change tomorrow. Mm-hmm.
We're constantly evolving, and honestly, we should. We should never, we always should strive to learn more, to grow, to experience something new all the time, and just that's how we get to be better, in my opinion. Like, we should change, we should evolve. We don't have to necessarily, we can definitely be the same people, but when we're faced with different situations, how we react to those definitely is how people form opinions. And I completely understand, like, that sort of thing. That's why I took a very firm stance with everyone of, like, I am a neutral. I'm a lot like Judy. That's why we're so get along super well.
I know, and I've heard, and this is so nice talking to you because I've heard so much about you and how you are just like that, and I respect it so much.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, and that's the thing, even with, like, Muddy Water Mayhem, is, like, we are very much a neutral territory, and when it comes to any circumstance, I will always do full talk to, like, all the sides kind of thing, and before, when it comes to, like, individuals, I would say, sort of deal, but I support all the organizations. I support everyone as much as I can to my fullest ability, whether it's photographers or troops or creatives in general, because I just want to make cool art shit too. And I have nothing against anyone. And so I just want us all to get along. But I also am, like, making sure that we all keep the peace too.
And it is hard though. Like, not everybody's always going to get along. You get a group of people.
Not.
My favorite show it's Survivor. I've watched all 42 seasons. I've watched them all pretty much, I think, twice or three times now.
Okay.
But the thing is, like, to watch people, and if you don't look at Survivor as if it's a game show, if you watch it and realize these are real people thrown into this thing, and watch the way they react, and you see so much. It is the greatest social experiment of all time, because you realize, except for the Philadelphia experiment, that was also quite brilliant, even though it was very nasty, and the way they did it was very distasteful. But in that time, you know what I'm talking about? That's where they took it was that inmates and officers, and they forced one group to be inmates. No, it was at Stanford. There was the Philadelphia, and then there was the Stanford, where they forced a whole group of people to be like police or prison guards, and then they forced another group of people. Not forced; they were all signed up and volunteered, but they said, "Hey, you are a 100% correctional officer. You need to treat this person like an inmate." And the inmate was just a normal person, just wanted to make some extra money for 3 weeks over the summer, and then became an inmate. But then the power hungry drive in people made those officers real mad, and then the inmate became hostile. Why are you treating me like this? We're all the same people, like it was very smart, like the concept of it. Really terrible for those human beings to go through that. Yeah, that shouldn't have lasted as long as it did.
No. But that's, and that's another thing that's interesting about, like, our society or how different people react to different things is depending on the type of roles they get put into, especially ones of leadership. I mean, that can speak volumes as to how that person is as a person and their values and how they handle various things and whatever. I mean, it's being in a leadership type position, you have to show leadership, you have to show or unity, you have to show that you're able to, I don't know, necessarily just lead in general, like show that this is our group and we're going to work as a team and we're going to get through this thing or whatever. But it's so difficult because there's so many different types of personality types as well.
I think that you should have been a therapist.
You know what? Funny you should say that.
I mean,
even my therapist told me that.
Jesus, you have this voice that is perfect, and the way you speak is so soothing and makes you think and calm. And you should have been a motherfucking therapist.
So I'm actually looking into being a kink counselor as one of my life paths. So it's coming. Funny that you mentioned that, but I am actually a counselor to a lot of people in our community. I start off by saying I'm not licensed and that you should definitely talk to a therapist, but I've done a lot of research. I've done a lot of analyzing of various personality types and people that I can usually catalog certain people within just talking to them or whatever. And so
Can you catalog me?
Can I catalog you?
Yeah.
Well, I find that you definitely have been through a past, but you've come out of it. But I also know a lot about that now. So it can cloud different things. But you've come out on the other side and you have found a lot of confidence within yourself. And so while you still doubt yourself at times, you have your good support structure now. And you've surrounded yourself by decent people.
All right, stop.
To have that
this
counsel.
This motherfucker's too good. She's too good at her job. Take my motherfucking money. You're good. You're good.
I am not a licensed therapist, though.
Actually, well,
but I love talking to people, and I love talking to people about their issues and things, and helping them work through them and feel better.
I think that one of the strongest, most powerful things about people is opening up and just talking and actually meaning the words in a relaxed, not nervous, like, are you going to go tell Bobby Jean? Are you going to go tell, are you going to go, but just to be free, that's why a lot of people, I think that's a lot of the reason, like, people have pets. It's because they can talk or look at that pet or feel this sort of comfort in, like, I can trust you. You're not going to go blab your mouth,
And that's why a lot of people, I feel, are comfortable talking to me, because I flat out, as one of my unofficial titles, I guess, is the Din Dom Mom of the community. And so I am always, like, my door is open. Like, people can come and talk to me when they have an issue, whether it's within that particular lifestyle or whether it's friendship or relationship, any of that, whatever thing. And so they're comfortable talking to me about whatever might be going on, and I'm not going to tell anybody because it's within and in my muggle life, even, like, it's my job to keep secrets. Like, I don't say anything because if you tell me and then it ends with me. And so I like to think, or I like to hope, and I get this a lot, that people say they feel comfortable around me. And so then I often will, like, even at a bar or whatever, will have somebody just tell me their life story or whatever. And, like, at Anime Iowa, actually, this past summer, I had somebody who just started telling me about, like, all their problems and things. And they're like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's okay. Just keep talking.
But that's heartwarming, too, at the same time.
They just want somebody to listen.
That's why a lot of people go to the bar. They're going to the bar just to have somebody listen to them. Get drunk, disappear, and just have someone listen to them. Yeah. There's a lot of times I've seen guys at the bar, and they're talking to the bartender. The bartender walks away. They're still fucking talking, like...
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they're definitely not all the way there, but they're still... You understand.
Just making them feel better at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I think we're at a good point. We're coming in on the hour mark.
Okay.
You've got somewhere to be. This is perfect. I'd love to have you back.
I would love to come back.
And we'll have a House of Sin. And then we can also I'd love to have you and Judy both. I think that would be
that'd be amazing.
That'd be a fun one. We'll make sure Judy is. It'll be cold in here. Just trust me. It was so hot in here the last time.
I saw that
She was so
episode.
miserable. I was just like looking at her like, oh my God, this episode should be so much better. Like she was just so, and I was the same way. I was just pouring sweat and I had a sweatshirt on. I was just,
Oh, jeez.
it was miserable.
And meanwhile, I'm always cold, so
Yeah, so we'll all just fight.
it's fine. I can always put on more layers.
We'll figure it out. But
Yeah.
where can everybody find all of your stuff? We'll attach everything below, but we want to send everybody to.
So I've been working recently on my branding and all of that good stuff. So I have a lot of. I'm currently working on photo shoots for all my different personas, so I can have a clear banner thing. And so it's Celtic Honey World on Facebook. But the easiest thing to do, making it more accessible, is allmylinks.com/Celtic Honey. And it has my TikTok, it's got my Facebook for Eden, for Stinger Wright, for my Facebook for Celtic Honey World, Instagram, and all the pay things, and email if you want to book for a show or if you want to do a photo shoot or whatever. Any of that stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Any of those things, you can find it on all my links. And I would love to work with people, so...
And yeah, so and come out to the shows. Come out to all the shows. There's a lot going on. She's Celtic Honey. I am Shane Newbert. Shot 30 Podcast is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Castbox, YouTube. She will be back. You're incredible. I love you. This is Shot 30 Podcast. Thank you for listening, and thank you for watching. Whew, that hour blew by fast.
Yeah, I did.